You're not really a princess, right? The words hung in the air like a misplaced punchline. The laughter in the studio died just as fast as it rose. Meghan Markle's smile didn't fade. It froze. Jimmy Kimmel chuckled awkwardly, scanning the room as if looking for backup from his audience. He found none. The tension was electric. It had all started like any other night on late-night TV. Jimmy's usual monologue, a few cheap jabs at trending topics, and then the introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, you know her from Suits and from literally every tabloid ever. Meghan Markle. She'd walked on stage gracefully, dressed in a sleek navy suit, hair pinned back, the poise of royalty, the gaze of a woman who's seen too much. The applause had been loud. Too loud. Forced, maybe. Jimmy smirked. She took her seat. What followed was a conversation poised on a razor's edge. You've had quite a journey, Jimmy had started. From Hollywood to royalty to whatever it is now. She didn't flinch. Whatever it is now, is me. The audience chuckled lightly. Jimmy leaned in. But don't you think all the drama, the palace, the press, is it really about you? Or do you just like the spotlight too much? The audience gasped. Meghan blinked slowly, clearly recalibrating. I think you're mistaking survival for performance. He smiled, shark-like. Well, the crown didn't fit, huh? She looked him dead in the eye. No, it didn't shrink enough to fit small minds. Oof, the studio reacted. A collective wave of, did she just say that? But Jimmy wasn't done. He turned toward the camera and laughed. Come on, she ghosted royalty. I guess I shouldn't be surprised she's ghosting reality too. That's when it happened. The freeze frame moment. She didn't speak. She stood up, silently. The camera tried to follow. The producers waved frantically. Jimmy's grin faded like smoke and wind. Wait, Meghan, are you leaving? She turned back just once. I came here thinking I'd be respected. I was wrong. I deserve better than this. And she walked off. The audience stood, some clapping, others stunned. Phones were already filming. The internet would explode before the credits rolled. Jimmy sat frozen, blinking. Well, okay then. Guess we're skipping the next segment. The screen faded, but this was only the beginning. The clip hit the internet before Meghan's car left the studio parking lot. No music, no editing, just raw footage of her standing up, staring Jimmy Kimmel down, and walking off stage like a queen exiting a courtroom she never asked to be judged in. By midnight, #IDeserveRespect was trending worldwide. By morning, late-night comedy wasn't feeling very funny. Jimmy's team released a statement. Last night's exchange with Meghan Markle was unscripted. We regret that she felt disrespected and wish her the best. But it was too late. The press feasted. Commentators from both sides of the spectrum unleashed. One outlet headlined, Meghan shuts down Kimmel, and the internet cheers. Another, thin skin or royal righteousness. Meghan storms off late night. Jimmy, for once, said nothing. Behind the scenes, his producers were in panic mode. She was booked weeks ago, one assistant muttered. We had everything cleared. Even the jokes. She walked, said another, because he improvised. That you're not really a princess line, that wasn't in the cards. Ratings were insane, though, someone whispered. But at what cost? Inside Meghan's world, the vibe was different. She sat by her fireplace, legs tucked under her, scrolling through her phone in silence. Her husband, Harry, stood nearby. You okay? He asked. She nodded slowly. I'm tired of smiling through it. He sat beside her. Then stop smiling. Start speaking. She didn't answer, but she posted. A black background, white letters. Silence is convenient for those who benefit from it. Not this time. The post racked up 2.1 million likes in an hour. The next day, Jimmy opened his show a little differently. No monologue, no laughter, no live band. Just him. Alone. He cleared his throat. So, last night happened? A ripple of awkward chuckles from the crowd. I thought I was being funny, he said. I wasn't. Not to her. Not to a lot of you watching. He paused. And if being funny means disrespecting someone who's been through public hell, then maybe it's not that funny after all. The apology sounded rehearsed. Some said it felt sincere, others weren't convinced. Then a new twist. Meghan was invited to return, not by Kimmel, by the network. A primetime interview, unedited, no jokes, just her story. She declined. But what she did next was bigger, a surprise drop, a special. An hour-long, no-host, direct-to-camera address titled The Crown and the Curtain, set to air in 3 days. Jimmy's name wasn't mentioned, but everyone knew who it was about. And he wasn't laughing anymore. The screen was black, no music, no credits, just silence, the kind that commands attention before a storm hits. Then, a single frame, Meghan Markle, in a soft-lit studio seated on a simple white chair, no interviewer, no flashy backdrop, just her center frame. She looked directly into the camera and spoke. "You know my name, you know my face, but you don't know my voice, because when I speak, they laugh. When I hesitate, they twist. And when I leave, they say I ran." She paused. "So tonight, I'm not running." The special aired on primetime across major networks. No sponsors, no cuts, no satire, just a woman reclaiming space. She didn't name Jimmy Kimmel once. She didn't have to. "It's easy to make a woman a punchline," she said. "Easier when she's ambitious. Easier when she's biracial. Easiest when she's royal and dares to walk away." The internet lit up. On TikTok, clips of her monologue flooded timelines. "When I walk out, they say I'm dramatic. When I stay quiet, they say I'm manipulative." On X, hashtags collided. Hashtag "We Stand With Meghan," hash "A Talk Show Takedown," hash "Respect on Air." But not everyone clapped. Back at Jimmy's studio, the mood was tense. His usual writer's room, usually loud with riffs and brainstorms, was silent. "I told one joke," Jimmy muttered. "One." "No," one producer said. "You made her the joke." Jimmy stood. "She stormed out in the middle of my show. She redefined what a show is." He stared blankly at the studio floor. "This is getting bigger than TV." And it was. The morning after the special, Meghan's face was on every newsstand, not in scandal, but in strength. She speaks. From Suits to Silence Breaker. Markle's monologue shakes Hollywood. Jimmy was invited to comment. He didn't. Not on air, not on socials, not anywhere. Instead, he did something rare. He canceled that night's show. Behind closed doors, Jimmy's team urged him, address it, control the narrative. But he couldn't, because he watched the full special twice. Because for the first time, the punchline punched back and landed. The following night, when he finally returned to the stage, the vibe was different. No audience laughter, no jokes, just Jimmy, alone in the spotlight. "I want to talk about something," he said, hands folded. "Not because I have to, but because if someone walks off my stage and the whole world claps, maybe I should ask why." A hush settled. She said she wasn't here for laughs, that she came for respect. And maybe I didn't give that. It wasn't quite an apology, but it wasn't sarcasm either. Then he did something no one expected. He aired her entire special again, unedited, right after his monologue. No ads, no commentary, just a black screen with 2 words. She speaks. The ratings tripled, but Jimmy didn't gloat. He left the studio quietly that night, because now the world wasn't laughing. It was listening. The ripple had become a wave. Meghan's special was no longer just a viral sensation. It had crossed over into something else, something dangerous to late night's carefully constructed comedy machine. Headlines now used words like reckoning and paradigm shift. Talk show hosts were sweating in places they never used to. Producers were scrubbing scripts. PR teams worked overtime. But Jimmy Kimmel? He was quiet until he wasn't. It started with a surprise announcement on his personal X account. Friday night, no jokes, no band, just me and her. If she'll come. The internet exploded. Was he inviting Meghan back? After everything? After the walkout, the trending chaos, the public shame? The comment section was chaos. Now he wants closure? Don't give him the mic, Meghan. Make him sweat. Within hours, Meghan's team posted an answer. She'll sit on one condition. No script, no edit, no jokes. He agreed. Friday night, the set looked different, like a courtroom redesigned by a therapist. Two high stools, black backdrop, a single overhead light. The only audience allowed, two producers, a lawyer from each side, and a medic on standby, just in case. The silence was heavy when she entered. No makeup crew, no publicist, just Meghan, confident, unmoved. Hair back, sharp black coat, calm like thunderclouds before a summer storm. Jimmy stood when she approached. He tried a smile. It didn't land. "Thanks for coming," he said. She sat down. "You already used that line once." He looked down. "Fair." The cameras rolled. The exchange, Jimmy took a breath. "So, Meghan, let's talk." She crossed one leg over the other. "No, let's listen." "Oof," Jimmy nodded. "Okay, then I'll start. I was wrong. I used you as a bit. You weren't laughing, and I pushed anyway." "You used me as a brand," she corrected. "I was never a guest. I was a character you could punch without consequence." "You're right." She blinked. "And? I'm sorry." A beat passed. She tilted her head. "You know why that doesn't land?" He looked up, eyes uncertain. "Because you're not sorry I walked out. You're sorry the world watched." The tension thickened. Jimmy straightened. "I didn't plan to humiliate you." "But you did," she said, voice calm but sharp. "And now you want redemption. On camera." "I want accountability." "No," she said, leaning in. "You want ratings." That stung. He flinched. "You don't get to host a reckoning," she added. "You are the reckoning." The room felt like a fuse had been lit. Every word, every pause, every glance, an explosion waiting to happen. Then Jimmy said something no one expected. "You should host this show." Silence. "I'm serious," he said. "One night, same time slot, no filter. Tell it the way I never let you." She raised an eyebrow. "You want me to replace you?" He nodded. "For one night, maybe forever, if they like you more." A long pause. She stood. He did too. Meghan looked him in the eye. "You can't undo what you did, Jimmy. But letting go of the mic, maybe that's the first thing you've done right." She turned to the camera. "I'll see you next week." The crowd reacts. The internet detonated. "She's taking over?" No way. He gave her the seat. "Is this real life or Netflix?" Got her turn. Now trended in 19 countries. Clips of Meghan's one-word shutdowns. Listen. Ratings. Reckoning. Looped everywhere. For the first time, Kimmel's show wasn't his. It belonged to her, at least for one night, and what she planned to do with it, no one knew. The night had come. The title card didn't say Jimmy Kimmel Live. It simply read, The Mic, and under it, hosted by Meghan Markle. The studio was transformed. No desk, no house band, no jokes, just Meghan, walking on stage in a sleek suit, heels echoing across polished black floors. No applause, no intro music, just a subtle hum of anticipation. She stood center stage, looked into the camera, and spoke like it wasn't a performance, but a declaration. "They said I couldn't take a joke, that I walked away, that I was weak. Tonight I'm not walking, I'm standing, and I brought receipts." The audience, quiet, unsure if they could clap, held their breath. She sat in a single spotlight and began. She replayed clips of her original appearance on Jimmy Kimmel's show, the jokes, the interruptions, the smirks, and side by side, her reactions, the awkward smile, the long blinks, the clenched jaw. "I wasn't offended," she said. "I was exhausted. Not from the jokes, from explaining I'm more than one." Cut to footage of media pundits laughing at her, social clips mocking her voice, headlines dissecting her body language like a crime scene. "They said I played the victim," she said. Pause. "I'm not playing." Then came the curveball. "Tonight," Meghan said, "I've invited 3 women who also walked away, from stages, studios, or systems that told them they should stay silent. One by one they came out. A journalist who quit after being told her tone was too aggressive. A CEO who resigned after male board members mocked her post-maternity leave policies. A comedian who walked off a live podcast when jokes turned to slurs. Each told their story. Meghan didn't interrupt. She listened, asked sharp, short questions, let their voices do the work. The lights dimmed. Meghan stood again. I didn't come here to cancel Jimmy Kimmel, she said. I came here to cancel the idea that speaking up is weak, that silence is polite, that your pain should be palatable. She stared into the lens. This mic has power. Tonight I'm using it not for applause, but for change. A new camera angle revealed something behind her. Jimmy's desk, still intact, the old set, a relic. Meghan walked over, touched the edge, then pulled out a Sharpie and wrote, "Listen," across the front. This seat doesn't belong to anyone forever, she said, but whoever sits here should hear more than they speak. The room erupted, not in cheers, in catharsis. Meghan returned to center stage. This was never about fame, she said, or royalty, or headlines. It was about being told to smile when it wasn't funny, to nod when it wasn't fair, to laugh when it hurt. She exhaled. So to every woman, every person, every voice silenced by mockery, this mic is for you. She placed the mic down, gently. The screen faded to black. Two words remained. Your turn.